Hey, this is Anthony Cesari with SuccessFearSongs.com, and in this video we're going to be talking about writing interesting song titles. I'm going to be playing a clip for you of an interview I did with the founder of Songwriting Planet, Kevin Thomas, who's got a lot of great thoughts on this topic. So check out what he has to say about that here.
You have to start with a title that really is a good title for, that you can fit into a chorus. I see a lot of people writing titles that, I'll listen to the song and be like, well, that shouldn't even be your title. This other line is much better, and it kind of sums up the song more. So the title, I think in terms of lyric writing, it's nice if it can sum up the song in a short phrase. And it's also nice if hearing the title allows you to picture something visual. And I did this exercise once about a year ago where I went through every Beatles song title, and almost every one of them I could picture something immediately from just hearing the title. Strawberry Fields, I picture a field of strawberries. I Want to Hold Your Hand, I pictured people walking hand in hand. 8 Days a Week, I pictured somebody in construction boots working. Every one of there's Yellow Submarine, that's really obvious. Or Octopus's Garden, you see an octopus. And all their songs had titles that were really, really memorable and really visual and very short and succinct. Whereas, titles like I Want to Be With You, or something like that. I'm trying to think of titles that are really generic. Or I Had a Good Time. That can work, but it's so general. It's short enough. It's just so general. It's not visual enough. You got to give people a little more. I think if you come up with a title that's got something in it that immediately conjures up pictures in somebody's mind, it really helps. And if it's short enough, and then to set it to melody, it's much easier because you have a limited number of syllables. And I just, was talking a minute ago about how your melodies, you want to have shorter phrases, especially for hooks for the chorus. You don't want these big, long, winding melodies that sound like slow guitar solos. You want something short, and you just match it up. And then you're going to have to take a look at word by word. Is the melody working with that phrase? Because maybe a word is being emphasized by a leap or a long note that is a word like the, or a word like and, something that doesn't hold much meaning. And so if that's the case, you're going to want to have the words with more meaning be the ones that are emphasized in the melody with either a leap or a long note or any play or landing strongly on the downbeat of a measure. So you have to double check that you're emphasizing the right words.
Right, like if the word the falls on the first beat of the measure, that's just going to naturally get more highlighted, and you don't want that. I think that's a tricky thing about writing lyrics to music effectively, is when you speak words, you're not thinking about how your phrases are coming together. You're sort of naturally putting the proper emphasis on the proper syllables. But music can force the wrong syllables to get emphasized, like we said, like the word the or and, just because of where it is in the music. So you have to be careful and really listen to what words are being highlighted within your phrases, if you don't want those phrases to sound awkward or even to sound misheard. A lot of times when you talk about misheard lyrics, it's because there are just awkwardly emphasized syllables within words that are making things sound funny. And what did they just say? That kind of thing. And then by the time you ask yourself that, then you missed another line, and you're missing a lot of the lyrics of what's going on.
Yeah, I've seen that with hit songs. There's a couple hit songs where I just couldn't understand a line in the chorus, and it was a catchy phrase, but I'm like, what is she singing? What is that word? And then it turns out it was a common word, but because she misaccented the syllable, it sounded weird. It sounded so weird that I didn't know what the lyric was.
Right.
And it was a simple word like romance. But if you like a word, for instance, like actually, the accents are on actually. If that's the beat, I sing actually. If I misaccent it, actually.
Right.
You don't know what the hell I'm saying. That's how bad it can get. If you put the wrong syllables on the beats, it can sound really bad. And you have to go in and fix that stuff.
Yeah, I think I've heard Pat Pattison say that probably the most misstressed word in songwriting is into, where a lot of times we hear when people put it in song, they say into.
Right.
So, you know, a lot of times you get that second part of the word being emphasized, where really when you say it, it's the first part of the word. So it's things like that to be aware of when you're writing that really make a difference, because it just can make phrases, especially if it's your title or something, you know, an important line in your song, it can make them sound awkward or just not heard correctly in the first place. Yeah, and actually, I think what you mentioned earlier, you were talking about those Beatles examples where they have these lyrics that sort of create an image for you to see. And I think what's really effective too about those examples is that they're, in addition to being the title of the song and having this effective imagery within that title, they're presented in the melody in a way that's sort of highlighted. Maybe it's in contrast to, you know, that title is in contrast to the rest of the chorus or the rest of the verse, you know, whatever type of song it is. And then it's also, you know, maybe it's lifted up, the notes are higher than the rest of the song or something like that. But something that makes it stand out from what the rest of the melody is doing. So not only do you have this effective title lyrically, but it's being presented in a way that just stands out from everything that's around it, that makes it very clear that that's the title of the song melodically as well.
Yeah, that's right. I've noticed that with their songs too. They'll phrase it in such a way that it's maybe starting on a different beat than the earlier phrases that came before it. Some treatment of the phrasing of that hook will be set a different way so that it really stands out.
All right, so hopefully that information helps you out. I've got a link for you below this video that introduces you to Kevin Thomas's course, which is called Creative Songwriting. So you can click below to check that out there and learn more about that. And I've also got a link for you for our free cheat sheet, which will show you how to write much more memorable songs. So if you haven't yet grabbed that, you can also get that below the video. Thanks for checking this out. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.